Hey guys! It's Kim with Pretty N Chic. I am here to do a glazing tutorial. I'm doing some unique finishes. What I'm going to do is show you how to make something look galvanized. And I already did a little bit here and onto this drawer so you can see the finish. I will come closer as I'm doing the work. And then on this piece over here, I'm going to show you how to do kind of a restoration hardware finish with a gray wash of the antiquing glaze. I'm using, on this piece, Eyeing the Past. Make sure you say hi, let us know you're here. And during the video, if you share and comment, you could be entered into the raffle to win a free 8-ounce paint from Miss Lillian's. So I'm using Eyeing the Past on this piece today, which is, it looks white, but it's really a really light gray, almost like the color of ice. And smoke antiquing glaze. And on this piece over here, I used the metallic paint, which is Miss Lillian's, of course, and it is silver. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over a little bit so you can see. Can you see both pieces?
Delayed.
Okay, well you can see them on mine, so I'm going to keep going. Again, I'm Kim with Pretty N Chic. I'm out of Vacaville, California, and I'm doing 2 different finishes for you today with the antiquing glaze. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start off on this piece for you, and then I'm going to move over to this piece. So I'm going to move this one over here. Make sure you like and share for the opportunity to win a free 8-ounce. And at the end of the video, we have a surprise for you. So stay tuned. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so I'm going to move. Bear with me. I'm going to move this over just a tad. So this is the finish we're going for the faux galvanized. How many of you have used Miss Lillian's antiquing glaze before? So what I did, again, if you're just joining, I painted the piece with Miss Lillian's metallic silver. Very easy to use. And then I glazed it with black walnut and burnt umber. So here's the burnt umber. And I already poured my black walnut. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the project. Again, I already started with this down here, so I'm just going to kind of move my way up. It's a very simple process. It shouldn't be too long, but I'm going to do the front, and then I'm going to switch this around and do the larger area just so you can see it in bigger form. So I have my chipping brush. I have a damp rag, and I have my antiquing glaze, which is black walnut. What I'm going to do, take my black walnut, and it's going to seem kind of messy. I'm going to try to stay out of the video, but I'm just going to go like this over the piece, okay? So you see how that looks kind of a mess. Messy is okay. And then I'm going to take my damp cloth and I'm just going to slightly wipe and dab. See how I'm doing that? Right? Getting it in there. Okay? And then I'm going to take a dry brush and just swirl it on there. Just swirling my glaze around in all different directions. Try not to hide the screen because this video is intended to show you how to do it. Again, make sure you say hi, let us know you're here. If you have questions, Miss Lillian's is on here to answer questions since I really can't. You can always add more, or you can wipe it off until it's dry. You can always wipe it off. See, you can dab some more on if you want it darker in some areas. Because galvanized doesn't have, aged galvanized doesn't have a method to its madness. It's aged to perfection. Okay. I'm just dabbing it on there a little bit, and I'll just swirl and feather it. Okay. Do you all see that? Okay. I'm going to work my way up, and then I'll come back over and add some burnt umber into it. Or you can add it in right now. So it all depends on how you want to do it. I already poured my burnt umber. Again, this is the Miss Lillian's Antiquing Glaze. Hi, everybody. I'm actually just going to use the same brush that I used for my black walnut. Okay. Not too much when you're doing the burnt umber, because it's just supposed to be a little bit on there. That kind of gives it that rusty aged look. Right? And then I'm going to get my dry brush. Like this. And just kind of dab it in there. There's your rust. I want more rust. I want more rust. Here's another little section I'm going to do over here. Bring it up the side a little bit. Now you have to be really careful not to wipe this because your other glaze is still drying, so it will come off easily. I'm going to get my dry brush and dab it. Seeing that okay? Everybody say hi, let us know you're here, share and like the video to get in the chance to win the drawing. And then also, I'm curious to know how many of you have actually used Miss Lillian's products. Let us know The more comments and likes and shares, the better chance you have of winning. And if you're just joining on, we also have a surprise announcement at the end of the video. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep working my way up. Sign language.
What color metallic paint, and did you use a base color?
Silver metallic, straight over the wood is what I used. The Miss Lillian's paint. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but you can see me.
It's backwards.
It's backwards, but you can read that. I know you can. And then I set my black walnut down somewhere. Burnt umber glaze. And there it is. Black walnut. So all silver, then black walnut, then I added in the burnt umber glaze. Don't be scared. It's paint. You can totally go over it if you hate it because it's not waxed. Okay, so I'm going to work my way up. Black walnut. Again. Okay. Nobody taught me this. I kind of just taught myself. I had somebody that wanted me to do some lockers for them, which yes, you can use the paint on metal. And it stays really good. I had, the lockers were like old school lockers, and they had like green paint on them already, so I just went over it with the metallic silver and added the antiquing glaze, and then just kind of went to town on it until I got the look I wanted. My director, huh? See, I'm just kind of dabbing some of it off with a damp rag. This is a microfiber. It doesn't have to be microfiber, it's just kind of what I prefer. And they're cheap at Harbor Freight. And I'm going to go ahead and do my little swirl. Back and forth. This was just a cherry wood nightstand that I had sitting in the hallway here at my shop. And I just chose it today to do this finish on because it was small enough that I could actually finish it during a live. And it's a good piece for that look. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add some burnt umber in. See how I'm doing that just kind of anywhere, just random. You know, sometimes I'll add ebony into it as well, ebony glaze. Because I want darker, some more darker areas. You just have to work with it and find what you like. I swear I sound like Bob Ross. This is my favorite part of what I do. Not videoing so much, but just being creative. Okay, I'm going to add a little more over here. I'm going to bring it up here. I think the antiquing glaze with Miss Lillian's is one of my favorite products to work with because it's so versatile. You know, like I don't feel like I can get the same exact finish with wax. It's not as forgiving. If I hate it, I can't paint over it. So I prefer antiquing glaze over wax because I feel like it's more versatile. Miss Lillian's is based on having no wax too. So I worked that into my furniture painting. So I'm switching my brushes back and forth between a dry brush and the brush that actually has the antiquing glaze on it. And you don't want to do this because then you'll end up with a bunch of brush strokes. You're just dabbing it, as you can see. So I'm going to turn the piece to the side so I can do a larger area, because when I did my blending on my last video, I had people messaging me asking me if I could do a bigger section. So on this one, I'm going to do a bigger section of the galvanized. Let me just move my products. I try not to touch where I glazed because it's still wet. Okay, so here's the side. For those of you joining us, metallic silver, Miss Lillian's. Black walnut, antiquing glaze. And burnt umber, antiquing glaze. All right, now on to the big section. I'm dipping it into my black walnut right now. I'm going to kind of pick up a lot. I'm going to go here, go all over it. No method to it, just kind of painting it on, but not fully covering it. Okay. Ta-da! Just kidding. And I'm just going to kind of do some wiping just because I have a lot on there, right? And then I'm going to take my dry brush. I'm going to start doing the swirly motions. If there's some areas that don't have a lot, you don't have to wipe it. And remember, different areas of galvanized is darker and lighter in different areas. So I'm just kind of feathering it around in circles. And at this point, if you were not happy with your finish, you can easily wipe it off. I'm not doing that today. Not today. Now, as I start working with it more, I just stop pushing as hard on the brush. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more to just a few areas, just to give it a little bit more dark. Oh, did I dab? Because, you know, different textures. Why don't you guys tell us where you're all from? I'm from Vacaville, California. The weather's just starting to warm up. Goodbye, winter. I will not miss you. what are your favorite products of Miss Lillian's? I think I've already said of course I love her paint. I would never, that's a given. But other than the paint, I love the antiquing glazes. Okay, now I'm going to add some burnt umber into this. That's a larger section, just so you guys could see how a larger section works. All right. I'm adding burnt umber just to give it kind of that rusty old look, just randomly. And I'm trying not to wipe it because you don't want to wipe your other glazes off that you already have on there. I'm going to make it more rusty on the bottom because, yeah, sounds good to me. Okay, and I'm just going to stipple it in. I think that's the word, stippling. Don't forget to like and share. And invite your friends, because I'm sharing all this information. You might as well share it too. And because you want free 8-ounce paint. Possibly, if you're the lucky one. Okay, so this is your galvanized finish. Again, you can make it darker, you can make it lighter, you can add more, you can take less, but very simple. You just have to learn how to work with the glazes, which is not hard. It just takes a little bit of practice. Don't be scared, you can paint over it if you hate it. Okay? So I'm going to repeat one more time for those of you that just jumped on. I painted the whole thing with Miss Lillian's metallic paint, silver. I cleaned it before I started, obviously. Well, yeah, maybe not obviously. So I cleaned it first. That's the most important part, is making sure your piece is prepped correctly, which is clean and no debris. And then I glazed it over the whole thing with Miss Lillian's antiquing glaze. It's liquid, it's not wax, and it's black walnut. And then, take note, I added the Miss Lillian's antiquing glaze, burnt umber. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next piece that I'm going to be working on to give you kind of a restoration hardware finish, which is their like gray washed furniture that came out a few years ago. So I'm going to move you guys over. Just give me a moment. Okay. Can you see it, the whole piece okay? Because I can see it on my screen. Can you see it? Okay, well I hope so, because I can't see the comments. Oh wait, I see a yes. I see a yes. Amen. Amen. Today's a good day. All right. I'm going to start actually with the side of this, I think. No, I'll just go in. Okay. On this piece, I'm using a color called, it's Miss Lillian's No Wax Chalk Paint. And it's Eyeing the Past. Okay. It looks like white, but it's actually a really, really light gray. Again, it's like ice. You know, ice can look almost white, but it's gray. With Miss Lillian's Antiquing Glaze, Smoke. I might add some black walnut in the end. I'll just see how I like it. but I hope I'm close enough for you to see. All right, so what I have is my chipping brush, a damp cloth. You might want to dampen it a little bit more. It's like baby wipe damp, not wet, just damp like a baby wipe would be. I've used baby wipes before too, but I like water because, you know, they say baby wipes are safe, but who knows what chemicals they really have in them. And with all the work you put into a piece, you don't want it to get messed up. Okay, so there's a few different ways you can glaze. I prefer just slightly dampening my piece a little bit with my damp cloth in the area that I'm going to be working. Okay, that's when I'm working on chalk paint. Metallic paint's different. And then you can either, one, put the glaze right onto your piece. Okay, like this. And then you take your damp cloth and you just kind of wipe it off, right? And then I take a dry brush and I just start blending it in. It's really easy. I'll add a little bit more sometimes, like I feel like there's not enough here. And then I'll take my dry brush and just kind of move it since it's already a little bit damp. And that kind of gives your glaze a little bit, when you use the dry brush to move it, it kind of gives your glaze a smoother brushed stroke. Now when you get into areas like this, it gets a little bit more complicated. Not hard, not hard. Okay, so I'm doing this. I teach this in my paint classes and people are always so scared. There's nothing to be scared of at all. I'm going to take my little bit more, add it on. It's damp, you got working time here. Now if you hate it again, you can pretty much wipe it off at this point, but that's not my agenda. I don't like wiping it off. I like to just keep going and kind of working with what I have. Okay, so there's one way to glaze, right? So you put it on with a brush. Or you can dip your brush in your glaze and wipe it right onto your brush, like this. Your rag. Thank God he's here. Okay. And then you can just wipe it on. You don't get as much on there. Okay. You might have to add more. But some people find this easier. I don't care. I do it both ways. Just depends. On bigger surfaces, I think it's easier to do it with the rag. You know, the wipe and put it on the rag and wipe it technique. But it's preference. Dry brushing to kind of blend it in there and get it up. Because if you don't blend it, it really builds up here and here. And if you want that shadowed look, that's perfect. But I don't today. I don't. I need to add some though because it doesn't match the other side. Sorry guys. So have you guys used the antiquing glaze? Because this stuff is phenomenal. I'm telling you. Once I started using this over wax, I was like, hallelujah. See, right now my brush is getting dry, so I'm just kind of, the glaze is kind of coming off a lot, so I just kind of use what I have to get into the details. Because I don't want this to be heavy. That's not the look I'm going for. The dry brush sometimes is the trick to getting into little crevices. You see how it's starting to transform? So there's nothing in here yet. Nothing in there. So I'm just kind of putting it in just so I can get it on my piece. I'm kind of messy, but that's okay because once I wipe it and dry brush it, it won't be that messy. I'm going to move over to this side so I can make sure I get it all over. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go through and just do a little bit of wiping. Okay. See how it kind of brings all my glaze into certain areas. And then I'm going to take my dry brush and just start moving it around. Because when you're using your damp rag too, when you wipe, it kind of dampens the glaze a little bit and lets you kind of move it where you want it to go. See how it kind of builds up on the sides? Gives that shadowy look. That's another way of, you can do this, you can blend with the antiquing glaze as well. That's what I started blending with and then kind of worked my way into mixing paints and colors and stuff like that. Okay, so there's that section. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the next drawer so you guys can see me do it one more time, and then I'll do a bigger surface. Because I always get a lot of people that call me or text me or message me on Facebook and say, I can't get it right. And then they send me the picture and I can see where in the bigger areas, they just couldn't get their stroke, the wipe off correct. Just dampening my rag a little bit. Okay. Taking my dry brush and working my glaze in there. People say I make it look easy, but it really is. Once you learn the product and you do it once, you're like, oh, that makes complete sense. And hopefully this is helping you as well. Okay, I'm going to add it into the detailing like I did. And dampen it a little bit. I don't offload my brush all in one section. I just kind of go around and offload it, the glaze, and then just start using the dryer section to move it into like the corners and stuff like that, so that it actually gets in there, but it's not in globs. Try not to cover up the screen. Okay, I think I got glaze all over this section. All right. So I'm gonna wipe. Okay, just wipe. Not all of it, just kind of wiping some of the excess off. Okay. Taking my dry brush and blending it in so it's not gooped up in any specific section. So yeah, I do kind of mix my brushes around a lot, you know what I mean? Like, I use a brush for painting, I use a brush for putting my glaze on, I use a dry brush to move it around. Sometimes I'll use the same brush to add a different color glaze. But for the most part, I use about 2 or 3 brushes per project. That's why I use these, because I'm not good at cleaning my brushes. And I don't think expensive brushes are necessary to get a good finish. So there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the piece around and do the big section. But this is a very good example of how to get the restoration hardware. Ooh, I forgot this down here. Come on, Kim, get it together. Okay. I'm going to wipe it off. And I'm going to just kind of blend it in there. Okay, so there's that part. Now, here, should I come a little closer? You can see it closer. Maybe. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put you back up here. You guys just sit tight. Don't go nowhere. I'm not trying to be bossy, but I can be sometimes. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so yes, this is a damp rag. It's a damp rag, very damp. I just kind of missed it just to keep it a little bit damp as I'm working. For those of you just joining, I painted the whole piece with Miss Lillian's Eyeing the Past. Miss Lillian's No Wax Chalk Paint. The only product I'll use. And Miss Lillian's Smoke Antiquing Glaze. Be sure to like and share and invite your friends to watch the video in order to win, be entered to win into a raffle for a free 8-ounce Miss Lillian's No Wax Chalk Paint. We also do, again, have a surprise at the end, so stay tuned. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dampen this side. My rag's damp, remember? Just damp. I just dampen it because it gives my glaze a little bit more working time. I just like it. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. Don't be scared. I know it looks a mess, But you all trust me, right? Trust me. Okay. So, in order to make it to where it doesn't build up here and build up down here, I start off wiping my glaze in a square pattern. Okay, square pattern. Ready? I go like this. And then I wipe across here. I know it looks like I'm wiping it all off. Trust me. Okay. We turned off my notifications, but that didn't happen. I guess it didn't work. Okay, so see how it's already kind of built up right there? That's not the look I'm going for. And I don't think most anybody will be. I'm getting my dry brush. And I'm going to work it out of there, okay? And I'm going to just start pulling it down. Okay, getting my dry brush. See that? See that? Easy, easy. Now I'm just using my dry brush to move this and this. Okay. And that is the bigger surface. Okay. I hope I didn't do that too fast, but I have to kind of work fast in bigger areas because I don't want it to dry and then it gets streaky. But when you're glazing, when you are glazing, the key is not to do this. It's to go from beginning to end, as far as you can go. Same thing with the top, beginning to end. You do not want to do it like this. You're going to end up with blotches. I don't think that's what you're going for. I mean, maybe, but not me, not today. So, do I need to do another big surface? Because I can turn it around. Let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it around and show you the front. Let me know if you want me to do the other big surface one more time. And I can do that for you. Okay. Show us again. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we have another big surface. I just put my hands in the glaze. It's art, right? Okay, so this is painted with eyeing the past. Just eyeing the past. Okay, I'm going to use my damp rag to just dampen the area that I'm going to be glazing. Okay. It just gives me a little more working time. My signature handprint. Yeah, it's going to be worth millions someday. Right? Right. Okay, see how I'm adding this glaze? Just no method to the madness here. You can really overthink your glaze. I mean, really overthink it. Oh, there's too much, there's too little. If you overthink it, you're never going to be happy. Okay, and a lot of people always say, mine doesn't look like yours. That's because it's not mine. There's an art to it, and nobody's art is ever exactly the same. Okay, remember? Work in a square when you first start wiping. Okay? Otherwise, your glaze will build up top and down below. Even strokes, beginning to end. It's the simple things. Okay, now taking my dry brush, and I'm just gonna go up and down. And I'm gonna blend this part at the bottom and work it up. See that? Now I'm going to just blend the bottom in with my dry brush. Just like that. I want mine to look like yours. It might. I just can't promise anything. And that is it. All I'm going to do now at the end, when I'm done, when the piece is done drying, is I'm going to take the handles that originally came with this piece, and I'm going to paint them with, okay, I'm going to paint them with our bronze metallic paint. And I'm going to put them on and then let it dry, cure for a couple days, and then I'll put it on the showroom floor. I'm going to go ahead, for all of you that just came on, and show you the other piece we finished. Go ahead and share the page to be put in for your opportunity to win, share the live to be put in for the chance to win your 8-ounce paint. And in a few minutes, I will be done with this video, but before I leave, I have a surprise. I'm just moving the pieces around right now, so bear with me. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot over so you guys can see the other piece that I did. Okay, so here is the faux finished galvanized look. Okay, so I did this with the silver metallic, black walnut, and burnt umber. Painted the whole thing with silver metallic, glazed it with black walnut. You guys can replay, #replay, and went over with black walnut, and then just added in some burnt umber. And it's dry to touch. See? It's dry. This is what I used, because I keep getting asked. Silver, black walnut, antique and glaze, and burnt umber. Okay, and then on this piece, let's skadoodle over here. Skadoodle. Just so you all know, I got new floors just so I can do my lives. See? Just so I can show my floors and my lives, because before they were really bad. And this is the Inspired by Restoration Hardware. Okay. I used Miss Lillian's No Wax Chalk Paint, Eyeing the Past, and Miss Lillian's No Wax Chalk Paint, Antique and Glaze with Smoke. The wonderful thing about this is that you can always paint over it if you hate it. With wax, you really can't. I've done it. And that's why I like, one of the million reasons why I like this paint. So, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that, ready, drum roll. The video is ending. Just kidding. There is a flash sale for 7 days, and it is 15% off of Miss Lillian's no wax chalk paint antiquing glazes for 7 days. The sale goes until April 15th, which is really cool because I'm stocking up. And you should too, especially if you want to try. And the winner, let's see if we have a winner. Let's see, do we have a winner? Come on. Sorry guys. I know this is not as good as this. Leslie Cothran, you are the winner. So what you need to do is go to the Miss Lillian's No Wax Chalk Paint page and message them for your free 8-ounce No Wax Chalk Paint from Miss Lillian's. If you guys have questions, continue to ask them, continue to share. We appreciate you all coming on here and watching the videos, the live videos. We hope that they're knowledgeable for you and that you're learning a lot, because it does take a lot of time for us to get on here and prep to do these videos, and we do them for you. So, again, thank you guys, and I am signing off. I'll just show you one more time. Okay, here's close up to the galvanized. Okay. And
Lost you.
And right there. That is it.